So as I wrote in a comment or in a description box below in one of the videos, I said I would probably be doing a story time video on our meeting Peter Pan, Wendy, Prince Phillip, and Princess Aurora at the Disney Castle and how that happened. I wanted to share with people because it's just such a magical story. Our son Owen, when he was 3, loved the movie Peter Pan. Just like how some kids love Frozen and they sing the songs and they love the characters and the parents, you know, buy the costumes and whatever. That was our family, but with Peter Pan, which I thought was kind of cool. And like, I love that he loves the classic. And it didn't wear off. He would watch that movie all the time. That's always what he wanted to watch. Like a snack, and we'd be eating snack and I'd start cleaning it up and he'd go off to his room and then he'd come out full costume and be like, he'd play really cool. And he was like 3, almost 4. Hi. And I'd look and I'd be like, oh, hey, buddy. And he'd be like, I'm Peter. And he would not break character. He'd be like, this is a nice house. And I'd be like, well, where did Owen go? He just had to go to the store or something. I don't know, but I just came. And boy, you know, that flight, I got really hungry. And I was like, no, I just cleaned up snack Peter. And I'd have to call him Peter, or he'd be like, oh, I'm not Owen. I'm Peter. Full Peter. Like, that was our life. And he would just appear sometimes and we'd have to address Peter in the room. And it was so fun. It was part of our life too. And it made us love Peter. So then he turned 4. Peter again for Halloween. I'll insert some pictures. There's only a couple pictures I have, and there's some like fun food we made for that Halloween. And then there's a picture, I got this really cute picture. He's like running down from a house, and just as I snapped, he fell. So it's a blur. I'll put that in. Also, one of our really funny family videos from that Halloween where our dog walked into my parents' door. You know, I just saw that there was Peter Pan was in the parade at Disney World, a little bit in the fireworks. You can do a meet and greet. Maybe we should see if we can go to Disney World. Probably not in our budget. You know, everybody thinks like Disney's so expensive. Probably not in our budget. But one night my husband and I were sitting there and I just looked it up and there was a really good promotion for a family of 3. We can do this. Let's do this. So we booked it, and in booking that trip and in planning it, and anybody who does Disney knows, it's more fun when you have things kind of planned out, just a few things at least. All I wanted was to meet Peter Pan, to go on the Peter Pan ride, and to watch the parade and the fireworks. That's it. Fast forward, he turned 5 in February. We went after that, just soon after that, actually. So I'll do a video of that trip, just a short one. We're not vloggers. We're not professionals. We just are a family who has like family videos. So I'll post that. Another thing that you need to know is that we had an iPhone. It was 2015. So we had an iPhone, older, and we had a old digital camera, not knowing the terrible quality. Like, I can't even post them from like our computer onto any sort of editing because it's such a poor video. But what I'll do is I'll video it off the computer and I'll see what I can put in and just catch some of those little things for you. So it's going to be kind of fuzzy and the sound will be weird, but I have to share them because they're so awesome. So we get to Magic Kingdom. I've kind of got the day planned. I've got our fast passes for Peter Pan. I know when the meet and greets are. We've got the day planned. We're good. We're good. Right away we meet Tinkerbell. I did a video on that. After we met Tinkerbell, Owen says to me, I love it here, Mom, because people say hi, Peter. They don't say just hi, they say hi, Peter. I love that. Like, I think just like this imaginary place where he was Peter Pan, he like got to live it in Disney World. So that right there is like, oh, this is so cool. This is so fun. And we rode Peter Pan ride. He loved it. Hey, Owen, what are we doing?
Going on Peter Pan ride.
Peter Pan ride, are you excited?
Yeah.
We were having a great time early in the morning. Then we went, I think the Peter Pan meet and greet was like late morning. Yeah, late morning, like before lunch. So we went over and we got in line. And like a character had just left, so there was just like there's like 3 people in line. And so we hopped in and I'm like, is this the line for Peter Pan? And the guy in front of us was like, yeah, this is. And I'm like, awesome. This is the only thing we want to do in Disney World. And he's like, oh, cool. You know, are you Peter Pan fans? And I'm like, yeah. And we're just chatting. And Owen was like, I have a costume. And he has like a Peter Pan shirt on. And the guy was like, I love your shirt. That's so cool. We are like a super high energy family. And I'm drawn to people like that. My husband, when our first date, I was like, he is talking more than me. Kind of annoying, but I kind of like it. And so, like, that's just how we are. And this guy was like that. And I'm like, I like looked at my husband, and my husband's like, I know, it's your people. It's your people. I'm like, it is, it's my people. So he was really chatty, and we were having a lot of fun. And then I was like, maybe you should wear your costume, buddy. And the guy was like, you have a costume? I'm like, I love you. So he's like, you have to put on a costume. So I was like, who is this guy? Whatever. And I'm like, I'm like loving him. So I'm like, put on your costume. And he puts it on. And the guy was like, did your grandma make that? And everyone's like, yeah, my grandma made it. And, oh, I need to go back to that. So when he was 4, we made a different costume for him for Halloween. And I have a picture, insert it here, of how he was standing in the mirror. And it was like a better felt costume. I don't know if you can have, I mean, there's like regular felt costumes and like better felt costumes. This was a better one. And it had like little shoe covers and pants. And he stood in the mirror one day when he first got it. And he's like, my shirt, my feet, I am Peter Pan. He puts, I just brought the top along. I wasn't going to bring the pants. I figured it would be hot. I didn't know really what people do about costumes at Disney. Meh. So I just like had it in my bag. And he's like, oh my word, you even have a place for your dagger? And Owen's like, yeah, but my mom said I couldn't bring it. And I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know if you should like be walking around with a dagger all day, or if he'd be like, I'd be having to haul it around. And like, I'm not doing that. Like, just we'll have the outfit. You can put on the hat and things, and Peter can sign it, and we're not hauling around a dagger. And the guy reaches into his like Disney bag, obviously just came out of Pirates of the Caribbean, and was like, you have to have a dagger here, buddy. I gave him a sword. Like, those swords are like $10. I was like, you don't have to. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. He's like, no, I want him to have it. He's so cute. You've got to have it. I was like, it's just so touching to see somebody be as excited for your child as you are. That's what this guy was. He was just there to like make a happy thing even that much happier. It was so cool. So then we were up to meet Peter Pan. He's like, what am I doing? You guys need to go in front of me. I have to see this happen. Like, go. You're meeting your hero. So we went ahead, and they were just so fun. I think it was like 3 guys. Yeah, there was 3 guys. So we went ahead, met Peter Pan. It was like a dream. I was like on the verge of tears. Owen's eyes were just so big, and just, he got to talk to him, and like, he just engaged with him. So cute. It was just precious. It was everything. It was more than what I could have dreamed of. So we left. I put the video. I'll link that in the description box if you want to go see it. But it was magical. It was magical. So done. We had ridden Peter Pan. Next, we were going to eat lunch, and then we were going to get in line for the parade. We rode some other rides in between. Fantastic. It's a great day. It's beautiful weather. Just great. So we're at the parade. We get there really early because I wanted to sit in front of the castle, like, you know, when it comes around the curve, kind of right there. So this is where the weird video will come in. We're sitting there, and we see 4 guys walk by, and 3 of them are the guys from Peter Pan. And Owen takes out his sword, and he's like, I love Peter Pan! And they all turn, all of them. And they're like, oh, it's Owen! And they come over, and I'm like, oh my word, I love my people. I love my people. And so he came over, and he's like, so to this 4th friend, who was bald, he's like, this is Owen. This is that kid I was telling you about. Look at him. He's like, Owen, get your costume on. Why aren't you in your costume? And I'm like scrambling. I'm like, gotta do what this guy says. I don't know why I feel like I have to listen to it, but I do. And so I'm like, get your costume on, Owen. And he's like, no, seriously, get your costume on. Okay? And they're like chatting, and Owen's like, I just love Peter. I got to meet him. I rode on the ride, and he's like chatting with the guys, and they're all like laughing and smiling. Off they go. Goodbye. Thanks again for the sword. You guys are awesome. We're loving Disney World. Boop. And they go on their way. So the parade starts. And first there's like these dancers in front of Beauty and the Beast, like ballroom dance, like not ballroom, but like, you know what I mean. And we recognize one from the show in the morning, and she recognizes us. And so we're like, she's like, oh, and she like blew us a kiss, and I'm like, oh, cute. Love it. Like, we're like part of Disney World. And then the floats start coming. And I'll insert them in here. And again, sorry, it's a really bad video. It was on like an old digital camera. So I'm going to tape it on my computer on my phone. It's going to be really wonky. But you're going to see in this, there's like characters are turning and like waving at us. And we hear people behind us. You can hear them. They're yelling the characters' names. Sometimes you hear a different name being called, but they're like, you just hear people like really yelling around us. And I'm like, is that a thing? Like, what? I didn't know that's a thing. You can yell at them and they look at you. I don't know. Be a lot of screaming. But so characters are coming down and they're like stopping and waving at us and looking at us. And before they left, the guy was like, stay in your costume. And I'm like, well, whatever. And then Peter, like, it's coming around the curve, and then it straightens out right in front of us. And I see Peter Pan and Wendy are doing their routine and like waving off the sides of the ship. And they get to us, and they both come over to the side, and they're like, little Peter, get Captain Hook, get Captain Hook. And they're like, both, and they're like cheering for him. And I'm like, what is going on? And Captain Hook's like waving his hook at Owen, and Owen takes out his sword and starts waving it at Captain Hook. I'm like, what? This is adorable. Oh my word, this is beyond. Like, I'm just like halfway in tears. And then Tinkerbell starts like waving her little thing at Owen. She's like, get him. And then Mr. Smee comes and like comes to Owen and tries to get his sword, and Owen jabbed him, and Mr. Smee like jumped back, and everybody around us is laughing. So I'll try to insert that. And he is just laughing. In the meantime, the people next to us have those little things for magic bands. They're like the little, I don't know, you can just stick them in there, like the little pins, I guess. And they had an extra Tinkerbell one. So they're like, do you want this Tinkerbell one since you love Peter Pan? You can have that. She's in Peter Pan. So he's got that on. And I'm just like, what is happening? This is so awesome. And then I noticed some characters are like stopping and waving at us. Like it just started to feel like the parade right there was aimed at us. And I'm like, what is going on? And then my husband nudges me and he's like, those guys are back there, those 4 guys. And I'm like, what's going on? So then I realized that like they told us they work for Mickey. I don't know if they like texted some of them. I don't know what happened, but it was beyond magical. So I'm like, right after the parade, I'm like, run to them before they leave. So we got up like right away and we ran, and we just all ran and hugged them. And I'm like, I know that you had something to do with that. That literally felt like the parade was for us. Half in tears. So we're hugging them, and I'm like, thank you so much. That was beyond magical. Thanks. I know that you guys had something to do with that. And they're like, oh, no problem. We just think Owen is adorable. # Owen is Peter. And I'm like, literally not on social media, but I'm like, seriously, we could have like a hashtag, whatever. And then the tall, bald guy that wasn't there earlier in the day was like, here's the deal. I'm in a show at the castle at 3:45, whatever, I don't know the time. And he's like, when I get your name, I'm going to set up a private meet and greet with Peter Pan and Wendy and Prince Phillip and Aurora. And I was like, what? I'm like, no, you guys, no, you don't need to do that. That's fine. He's like, I need your names. Give me your names. And I'm going to set this up and have him in the front row. So just start heading over there soon in his costume. And I'm like, okay, like, what is going on? So I'm like, no, you don't have to, like, we're good. Like, we're maxed out. We've gotten beyond our wildest dreams here at Disney World. We're good. Like, you don't have to. He's like, no, this is fine. So we had him in his costume in the front. And while we're waiting there, this beautiful girl with curly hair comes up, and she's like, are you this family? And she said our names, and we're like, yes. She's like, I'm Irene. After you have a private meeting with Peter Pan and Wendy and Prince Phillip and Aurora after the show. You don't have to hurry. Just walk over to me after the show, and we will take you up to the castle. So enjoy the show, and we'll see you after. No need to hurry. And I'm like, what the heck? This is like a real thing. I was like, oh, this is so crazy. This is not happening. Like, we experienced on our own more magic than we anticipated. So this was happening. Show starts. It's a great show. Peter Pan comes out. okay, again, back to the fuzzy videos. I'm really sorry. Old camera. We had no idea this was going to happen. Things were dying. It was dicey. So Peter Pan comes out and like does his little thing, and then he like stops and taps Wendy and points at us, and it was like, there's a little Peter. I don't know what he was saying, and we're just like, this isn't even happening. Like, he keeps pointing and waving right at us, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm an adult like crying. I'll insert this part where they have the audience yell, "Dreams come true, dream," and my husband is next to me like, "Dreams come true," like louder than anybody. We're into this. After the show, we go over to Irene, and she like has people like are gone, and then she escorts us up, and there was two other people going up too, that were, I suppose, meeting somebody that was in the show that they knew. You can kind of see that a little bit in the background. But then we walk up, and what's so funny is, so they come out, and he asked for his name, and I loved Owen's response because he's like, well, you met me this morning, and he's like, oh yeah, sorry. And then he linked some things that happened in the parade. He was like, oh, I loved how you got Mr. Smee, and he's like, yeah, that was, but like, I know that this character, I know that like these people who set this up told him all this, and he remembered it, and I was so touched. I was
Hey! Sorry, Wendy. Get you out of the way. Hello. What's your name?
You can remember.
That's right. We met this morning.
It's
Owen.
What he did earlier to Mr. Smee.
I know. I saw from the ship. Mr. Smee didn't like that very much, you know.
Well, that's quite a lot. He's a pirate.
Uh-huh. Next time, go for Captain Hook.
Oh, yes. But
You were
he doesn't get off the ship.
Yeah, that's because he's too afraid of the crocodile.
Why?
Did you see the crocodile?
Yeah.
You know why he's afraid of him?
Why?
Because I cut off his hand and I fed it to the crocodile. And the crocodile liked the taste of him so much, he's still chasing him around.
And he always tries to eat him.
Uh-huh.
He's always on the look.
Uh-huh. If you ever want to see Captain Hook run off really afraid, you just have to pretend to be the crocodile. You put out your hands like this. One. Uh-huh. And open them and close them.
Oh,
And
that's
say
what keeps
tick-tock.
them away. Okay. I understand.
Yeah, you can use that too if you ever run into Captain Hook.
So you met
Well,
Tinkerbell.
what do I do when I run into dragons?
I did.
No,
It's
you can
lovely.
fight a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
She
I know.
is. What did she tell you? Oh, she's right there. Too.
What did Tinkerbell do to the shirt? Tell Wendy.
Well, I have a pair of pants with
Show her underneath.
underneath.
Show her your Peter Pan shirt underneath.
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
it's us.
Look, I
And
did
she-
too. And with the sticker, she covered your face.
She covered me. Oh my goodness.
But then I took it off.
Oh,
That's
thank
good.
you. You know, I do think she's lovely.
She's always.
Wait a second. Did somebody kiss you?
Yeah.
Who?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell kissed you? That's disgusting. Why would you do that?
Well, my mom and dad kissed me.
They do?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, didn't you say that? Who should Peter marry?
Wendy.
No, that's gross.
No, that's not.
Yeah, when you get married, you have to kiss that person.
It's fine to kiss. Then
He has to kiss her
See,
Of course.
every
I
day.
wouldn't mind being
Yeah, and he just kissed him right now.
but just
Yeah, and it's gross.
It's not.
You don't think it's gross?
No, because I'm going to get married to my honey.
You are?
to your honey.
When? Tomorrow?
No, when I get bigger and I'm grown up.
You want to grow up?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. I can find you a honey in Neverland.
Actually, I already mailed it.
Oh.
To who?
Stella.
Stella.
Who's
Is
that?
she lovely?
Yeah, she lives at Washington.
Do you fly to her all the time?
No, I can't fly, so.
Well, next time you go see Tinkerbell, just shake her.
That might be a little rude. She can do that.
Uh-huh. And then you can fly to her. Does she tell you stories?
She's yours, so I don't want to.
Oh, that's okay. You can
she
shake
is
her.
your fairy.
Oh, actually,
Sneezing all over.
she talks.
I know, but she sounds like bells.
What were
Small
the
enough?
3 things that you wanted to tell Peter?
What?
First, the crowing.
You learned how to crow? Let me hear it. That was perfect.
Wonderful.
That was great. What was the second thing?
Number 2,
What was it?
to come
Well,
to our house. Didn't you want him to
house someday.
Of course.
Take
But
you to Neverland?
Your mother has to tell you a really good story. I will, but you said you wanted to grow up.
maybe just for a
You know what
day?
happens when you grow up? You get a big long beard, like this long. Uh-huh. And then you start to stink, like a pirate.
How do pirates smell?
They smell like codfish.
Have you smelled Captain Hook? He smells terrible. Like a codfish, the worst codfish ever.
Did you know that? Did you know that one? Did you know that? Well, Mrs. Me tried to get my sword, but then I poked him.
I know, I saw from up on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. That was really brave of you.
Well, guys, I know that Peter could talk to him all day. but
yeah.
We do have to go get reset. I'm sorry.
All right, it's time to
Okay.
say goodbye. Let's take one picture.
Okay, come on.
Let's
Come on.
take them.
Let's trade swords.
We were like scrambling. My thumbs and my fingers are in the way. We're just like totally flustered. And it's magical. He was so good. Poor Prince Phillip is the one who set this all up, and Owen like doesn't know who he is. He has no interest in him. He's like, move along. There's one point where he's like, oh yeah, I could guard your castle. And Owen's like, I'll guard your place when you're away, Peter. He's just all about Peter. And then at the end was the sweet moment, so cute, where he just says, hugging's when you love somebody, and I do love you. And what do you say,
Good job, little
Owen?
lost boy. No, we're not gonna cuddle.
What do you say?
Oh, shaking head. Perfect.
You want to?
That means you love me.
You spend too much time with your
maybe you
mother.
should teach him how to hug. Maybe he just doesn't know how to. You should show him how.
You can hold this
Okay.
All right.
one. So hugging means you love somebody,
Okay, I guess.
and I do love you.
Well, I do too.
Well, good. He looks like you.
That's why.
Well, Owen, show him how to
Show him how to
give
hug. Quick, we gotta go.
You should show him how to hug.
All right. You're the only person I'm gonna hug today.
Lovely.
And nobody did this ever.
Huh?
Nobody did this.
Nobody does that ever? Hugs him?
Not in Neverland.
Aw,
There's no hugging.
Peter
Except
needed
for
a
you,
hug.
Owen. You're the only one.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for
Thank
coming to
you.
see me again.
Thank you so much.
Be really brave.
Owen, if you find any dragons in the kingdom, please let me know. My name's Phillip. You can find me.
I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. No, you're here. Whenever you're not here, I'll take care of.
Perfect.
Good. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hey, come on, dude.
Goodbye, Owen.
Bye, Owen. Bye, Owen.
Bye. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Thank you, Neverland.
Bye. I wish I would have panned up to Prince Phillip and Aurora and Wendy, because they all went, like everybody was like, oh, this is amazing. It's so cute. It was just like the love, the just pure love that a child has for his little hero. And we were so touched as parents. Owen was just like loving his day at Disney World. He didn't really comprehend until like later what happened and how it happened, and just the beauty of these kind people, these kind men who and these characters who took an extra 15 minutes out of their day to love on my kid. So grateful for Disney and for those people. It was just so cool to be a part of such kindness, and really that's what the world needs more of right now, is just to do kind things for other people. So the thing of it is, if we can create magical moments, just not even in Disney, but everywhere, we can, if you have an extra $3, buy somebody a coffee at McDonald's, pay for a car behind you, compliment for free. You can just compliment somebody on what they're wearing or how their hair is, or just spread kindness. And that's what we want to do with this channel. Did you want to be in the video too? Did you want to come say hello? Yes. Did you want to say hello? Look how cute you are. Look how handsome you are. You stink. I love you, but you stink. You're gonna be old and stinky. It's you. Look at you, cutie pie. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Tutu. Did you want to come back? All right, fine. You weren't done yet? Look at how cute you are. Look at you. Mwah. Okay. That's enough. All right, off you go.